Good morning, everyone, and Shalom Aleichem, and welcome. Today, the Rosh Chodesh Elul is Mitzvah Sayoim B'Shofar. Today we begin. We obviously we all know in Chassidus there is no more powerful instrument in the world. All the Maimarim start with the question: how can you be Doichah? How can you on Shabbos push away Tkiyah Shofar, the Amshacha Klolos of all Inyanim? The Inyan of Shofar is in Esaidus. The Rambam says, Uru Yoshenim is Minatzchim. It's a wake-up call. Right now we are about to launch the biggest Esaidus, I think, ever. The Esaidus is after 2,000 years of sleeping. The Golus is called the Shina, to wake up the entire Jewish people to recall that right now is the time for Mashiach to come, and that we're all together as united. The entire Jewish people are going to cry out for the Geula. This is not a dream. This is not a cholim. This is not a hypothetical thing. It's something that we're actually going to do in about 3 weeks from now. We prepared everything already in terms of the essential infrastructure. But there is going to be right now in what we are definitely going, as Hashem with the Epic itself and the Rebbe's brachas, we're going to bring about the biggest kinnis of Yidden, I don't know, since the time of the Beis Hamikdash. There is nothing more unifying Yidden. There's nothing that should unify Yidden more than the Geula. I mean, the whole purpose of creation was all for the Geula. And when you spoke about Mashiach a while ago, it was something that some people registered, some didn't. Later, for good or for whatever, because of what we've been through in the last year or so, and the last 2 years, the histoidus for the Geula is unprecedented. Yidden and Rabbanim and speakers and heads of whatever groups, people are talking about Mashiach like never before. People that were so skeptical, people that were usually would, throw cold water on everything. Right now, alle reden wegen Mashiach. The only thing that's lacking was a cohesive effort to bring all Yidden together for a powerful global moment to cry for Mashiach. And that's something that we put together right now, and we are launching it today amongst our shluchim over here, and Be'ezus Hashem, it's going to be launched in the entire world. So what is it? Basically, on Sunday, the first day of Slichus, at 8 o'clock Eretz Yisrael time, and I think it's 1 o'clock p.m. in New York. Los Angeles, it will be at, I think, 10 o'clock, and I think it will be across the entire world. Then alle Yidden will have 1 hour, about an hour and a half. We've secured mamish, like speakers from every single group of Yidden, highly respected people. Each of them will be delivering a 5-minute his talk. People like Warren Goldstein from South Africa, more speaking to the modern Orthodox crowd. Rabbi Moshe Weinberger has been a very powerful inspiration from 5 towns. Rabbi Shlomo Amar from the chief, from Yerushalayim. Rabbi Shalom Arush, big voice, the Garden of Amun and all that. The one from Breslov, and is a huge voice in the world. We are waiting for confirmation from the Tolner Rebbe and from Meilech Biederman. These are powerful. If there's any person who's has inreach into the entire Chassidish community in terms of what's it called again? Through any kind of video type of influence, it's Meilech Biederman, and there's others there right now. They're not all coming to my mind, but there's a list of. We have Rebbe Lazar representing Lubavitch. This is going to be huge. People across the world are going to watch. We're going to send out this video beforehand. It's going to be watched by to Moistis in different places, different cities. Our goal is to have shuls packed across the entire world, and also people watching this privately as a what's it called again, as an internet as a live stream. And this is going to be, and at the end, alle zusammen at the same moment, we'll say a few kapitlich Tehillim, crying out for the Geula. And our hope and our ambitions is to have literally millions of Yidden on this. No reason why not. We have all it takes now is the publicizing of it. We're planning a massive blitz advertising campaign in every single public of the major publications. We have incredible, great graphics and everything ready to go. We just need Chevra to line up to pump this thing like crazy. And that's what we're holding now.
Okay, so I really, as Reb Ruvi mentioned, that this is Minatzchim. This is shaping up to be the largest such event since Matan Torah. Pashat Kipshute. This is not a joke. It's an amazing thing to think about, as we've talked about already a couple of times. That the thing that could be Pashat Misachad, the whole Yiddish Welt, Chassidische, Svardische, Litvische, modern Orthodox, Freie, etc., is Mashiach, and in this, the vehicle and the opportunity to do it via posting something that it can immediately be accessible to the whole Yiddish Welt. Yes, it's going to be so. To answer some of the questions that are coming in, these videos are going to be pre-recorded. They're going to be put together professionally. There's going to be subtitles in all the languages, in all the important languages. So they'll be speaking in Hebrew. There'll be subtitles in English and Yiddish. There'll be availability to download with subtitles in Hebrew and in Spanish. In French and in Spanish. So this is going to be made available at the same moment across the Yiddish Welt, with the understanding that should be happening for everybody that can at the exact same moment. Rabbi Rubenfeld, if you'll again put up the graphic that's going to go live in newspapers, in the TED, in Hamodia, in the Ami magazine, in the in Mishpacha magazine, in local circulars, in all the Yiddish, so Chicago and Baltimore and Los Angeles and Eretz Yisrael and France, etc. This, and then the next version of this is going to have the names of all the speakers, and there is not a kreis that will not have names there that they are not going to want to listen to. If you're a Litvish and you see a name like Yerucham Olshin, and if you're a Chassidish and you see a Melech Biderman and the Talmud Rebbe, and if you're and Moshe Weinberger, and if you're a non-Orthodox, you have Warren Goldstein, and if you're an Israeli, and you see Shlomo Amar and Rabbi Lau, these, and obviously for Lubavitch, Geula is all that you need, but then the world's going to also want to hear from Rabbi Lipsker from Surfside after everything that's going on. This is going to be massive. It's going to harness everything, and it's going to harness the fact that the Yiddish Welt is unified on this point. I'm going to share now, though, where everybody on this in the Minatzchim group, everybody, because when we took and we wrote into the Rebbe in a duch that we are the Minatzchim and we're going to do whatever it takes to push the Geula. Are there not from speakers of traditional Rabbi Warren Goldstein, Chief Rabbi South Africa? That really, that's as far as Chas v'Shalom, we don't want to have in this thing something that will put off anybody. I don't think there's anybody that we expect to draw that will not be willing to hear from Rabbi Warren Goldstein, whatever it is. But if you put certain names on there that are going to be treif to the Chassidische, then we yatsa schari b'afseidik. But back to the point is that right now, the thing that needs to happen, and it is totally up to us to make happen, is the
promotion.
The promotion, getting the word out to everybody in every way that we can. And I want to put up a file. I'm having a little. Let me just open it up here. This is right now what needs to happen from now to the end, and this is where we are counting on the shluchim.
This is the biggest part of the meeting, is what can we do? What can each and every one of us do?
So I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share the screen over here. Okay. 1 minute. I think that's it. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Now ready. Okay. Does everybody see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, we're using the pasuk Uvikshu as Hashem Elokeinu as David Malcolm, because this is the pasuk we all know that this is, it says that to a certain degree, the reason that the Gula didn't come and what's the Gula going to be totally on is that the Yidden have to call out Hashem Elokeinu as David Malcolm. They have to, and the Welt recognizes this, that what now be a denu to do to bring Mashiach is Uvikshu. So Vikshu, and we're United for Geula, the website unitedforgeula.com, and we actually have already one of the Minatzchim who's come on board, and this is going to take Chayes to make sure the website is dynamic and compelling. That's Shmuley Litter, and I yeshakech to you for taking Chayes on that. But to give a sense, this is the mission statement. As the world is experiencing upheavals, and the Jewish world in particular is dealing with heartbreaking calamities, it is clear to the Yidden that the only answer is one we've known since the beginning of creation, the coming Mashiach and the Geula Shlema. An unprecedented opportunity is available to us in these times to bring together the entire Jewish world, Ashkenaz, etc., in a moment of true achdus, to be inspired and to cry out to Hashem with a united, thunderous voice to end this Geula, this Galus, and bring the Geula. On the first day of Sichas this year, millions of Yidden will participate in an event of Torah, words of chizuk and teaching from the Gedalim and Rabbanim from around the entire spectrum, of Yiddishkeit. Tefillah, chapters of Tehillim specifically chosen to express our yearning, and tzedakah. The goal is to bring Mashiach, period. That's the goal. A couple of Chevra were asking, so what's the purpose of this? The purpose of this is that when you have millions of Yidden calling out for the Geula, as the Rebbe told us, that should be it. That's the goal. Chas v'shalom, by the end of this meeting, for whatever reason it is, that Hashem still wants something else, is going to be a Yisraelus for Hachlatas Tevis in the Indian of learning, etc. But right now, the goal is that this should be what it takes to bring Mashiach. Never has it been done. Never since the Matan Torah or Hakel did the Yiddish Welt in its entirety come together in the way that we can do this. But for that to be the reality, not just to have a compelling, powerful event, but to be taka the entire Yiddish Welt, there is no group more positioned to make that happen than the Shluchim, than the Rebbe Shluchim. This is what the Rebbe had in mind, that we shall ein nemen the Welt, and we do. There is not a group out there in the world that is better suited, and so that what's needed now is for us to stand up and say hineni, for us to say, okay, let's. Here we are. We're all very busy. Every single one of the people that is involved in this is very busy with their own chabarases and their own pulas and running from chasas. We were having phone calls. Reuven Wolf was taking the phone call under the chuppah. Pashat, he was under a chuppah. We were listening to him read the ksuba under the chuppah, and then as soon as he finished, he got off the call and he went right back on the call. We're all very busy. That's not an excuse. None of us are too busy to bring the Geula. That's what we're busy with. So of course we're all doing it in our local environment, but now everybody has an opportunity and an achrayus to be mishtatif on a global level. So chevra, sit up in your chairs and lean forward toward your computer and hear how we can all be part of this. Okay, because this is going to happen, and not only that, have your fingers ready on the keyboard to type in "I'm ready, I'm in," because this is what we're going to need. Here's the pre-event timeline. Okay, we're in this week now. We're actually past this week. Confirming speakers, Rabbanim and Gedalim, we've got that. Created the event branding, we got that. We set up the website, it needs to be a little bit more polished, but we're on that. Recruit Jewish influencers like Harari and Yoel Gold and all these cover. We're in the process of working with them to each promote this in their own particular avenue and venue. Establish outreach principles in each region. That we need to do. So we see we're a little behind the time on this, but we're actually, we'll speak to that in a moment, but that Well, let's actually pause there right now and speak to this right now. The way that we see that they can have the most success in this is that the shluchim take on an achrayas like the Sari Alafim Sari Meyes V'chulu to divide up the world into regions, and we've divided it up as follows. The United States is the West Coast, the Midwest, and the East Coast. The West Coast is like California, northern, southern. Midwest is Ohio, is Illinois, is Minnesota, etc., etc. That to take that region, then the New York region. The job of these chevra are to become the point people. Doesn't mean they take on. Does not mean they do this all by themselves. It means that they help and they find the people and the resources, other shluchim, etc., to do three things. Three things need to be done in terms of the outreach. A, to work with the maizdes, and that doesn't mean just shuls. That means schools, yeshivas, etc., etc. Find the point of contact for every Yiddish maized that falls into your region. Or into, and again, the Sari Alafim can designate Sari Meyes, can designate Sari Asaris, or rather, regional can do state, can do city, can what have you, break it down to whatever it makes the most sense.
Also, mikvahs.
Right, correct. The most important place of disseminating information. But the bottom line is that we need to get this in front of not only in the newspapers, that's passive what's it called, advertising. You need active advertising where point-to-point contact, where somebody's one person to another person who is the ratio of meisid of their show, of their school, whatever it is, and saying you need to promote this. And fakert, the best way to consume this event is for kehilas to gather in their shuls and this be presented on the screen in their shul. And this is important because not everybody has access to the internet. And whatever it is, internet is treif, for better or for worse. So what happens is that's why we're pre-recording this whole event. Number one, it allows us to put subtitles. Number one, it allows us to make sure it's tight and good. And somebody mentioned that Rabbi Shlomo Amar's 5 minutes is going to take a lot more than 5 minutes. But that's the beauty of having him record in advance. We can, if it needs to be shortened, we can get back to him, whatever it is. The point is, by the launch of this event, there's going to be an hour-and-a-half long video presentation that is going to, it's all going to be accessible. And for the shuls or whatever it is that need it as a file in advance, we need to know those names. We need to be able to get it out to them. It's going to be very easy. We're just going to have a file and we're going to Dropbox the file to them. But the point is, if we don't have those names, then we don't know who to give it to. So we need chevra to jump at this and say, I can get it into, I have a way.
Sandy, what are the three things in very brief?
This is the point. Right, okay. So that's number one. Number one is that. Number two is like with the Tut Alts Miftzah, the reason that it spread so quickly with so much fire was this group. This group speaking to their fellow shluchim and their fellow Lubavitchers. That's another thing that needs to happen. We need to become the ambassadors of this thing to our fellow shluchim. And so, if Rabbi Rubenfeld, if you can once again, or if you can put into the chat here, and then also onto the WhatsApp, the image that everybody should right now. Don't wait till after the Minatzchim. Right now, multitask. It'll take 30 seconds. Everybody, make this your status. Like if you look at my status, you look at my WhatsApp image. Make this the status.
I'm gonna put it up in the WhatsApp because that's where people can get it.
Right. So right now, take this image from your WhatsApp and make it your status. If you're not sure how to do that, it's very simple. You go back to the first page of your WhatsApp, the middle option in your toolbar. One says chats, status, calls, status. You click on status, and then it says my status, and there's a little picture. You click on the picture, and you can, or rather, sorry, the three dots. The three dots, and then there's the picture. You can then change the picture and put in a new picture.
But you first have to save. Don't you first have to save it?
Yes, you have to save it into your media. You have to save it into your media, save the image into your media, and then upload it as your status. No, all of you are tech savvy, I'm sure. You'll do it intuitively. But the bottom line is, if we did this, so all of a sudden, if again 50 shluchim change their status to this, then without all of a sudden it's something. People are paying attention. You follow the your contacts that are friends of yours on WhatsApp, your fellow shluchim see this, and all of a sudden it's going to be mitamo. Everybody's got this as their status. What's going on? What is this? That's the simplest way. In 3 seconds, we can start to make a thing. But it only works if it's not 5 of us, but if it's 50 of us that have done this. And then obviously to put it up, to forward it to your WhatsApp groups that this is happening. And if you could put down some of the names. We didn't put down the names in this graphic yet because we don't have them all. We want to have them all so we can do it all in one shot. But some very chashuv names, and you can already start dropping that in your WhatsApp group. Chief Rabbi Lau, Rabbi Amar, the Tolner Rebbe, the Melech Biderman. Well, not Melech Biderman yet, but the Rosh Shlomo Arush, Rabbi Warren Goldstein. All these names are already confirmed. They're already making the videos and sending it to us. So this is massive. This is very, very big, what's happening here. We're going to have a haskama from Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Think about what this means. Which other event the Lubavitch ever put on about Mashiach had the haskama bracha from Reb Chaim Kanievsky? This is Mashiach Zeiten. This is it. This is it. And so we need that. That's point number 2 from the shluchim. Point number 3 from the shluchim is obviously that the group that has the biggest outreach in Mitam Yiddishkeit to the Freie Welt is us. So you can have Lakewood with Rabbi Olshin. We can have the Chassidische Welt with the Tolner Rebbe and Rabbi Biderman. We can have Eretz Yisrael with Shlomo Amar and Rabbi Lau. And you can have the Modern Orthodox with Rabbi Warren Goldstein. And the Freie Welt, that's us. Every Chabad house on Sunday, Chaf Aleph Elul, needs to be filled with people being part of this global event. And if
I could do the Midwest. Okay.
So Mendy Majeski has committed to the Midwest.
I'll do the Midwest.
Has committed to being the point man in France. Levi Zilberstein is committed to Buenos Aires. We need Chevra in Canada. We need Chevra in New York. We need Chevra in thank you, by the way, Mendy. Mendy's been Majeski's kind of jumped on board as being a big help. Shmuley Litvin, Mendy Majeski, Shmuley Litvin is somebody else. I mean, it's Kentucky is, I don't know. For us on the East Coast,
Shmuley will help me here.
And anything past the what's it called, the border of New York is the West. So Kentucky, I don't know on a map, but the bottom line is, Chevra, we need, if anybody has any names, who can do it in Toronto, who can do it in Montreal. You're going to say Reb Zusha could do it in Montreal? No, Reb Zusha is busy in the close. Rabbi Wolf is busy in the close. Rabbi Mendy Rubenfeld is busy in the close. We need other names that are willing to be focused on these particular regions.
Someone just said they could do the New England. Someone just wrote.
I can't see the WhatsApp. I can't see the chat. Well, I could see. Benjamin so and so. Benjamin, give us your last name so we can.
Benjamin Murray.
Benjamin Murray. Okay. So
Ari Ling said SoCal.
So Ari Ling. Okay, very good, very good. Ari, if you can, that's big.
I just jumped on the call. What do you need help with? I just tried to call a second ago. Traveling.
That's Nassim.
Where is he located?
We're in Illinois or Iowa.
Beautiful.
So we're in Pennsylvania in general.
You'll be working with
We're just traveling to Omaha right now. No,
we also need to know what are the newspapers that people are reading. So if we can put ads, hopefully, into even into, now we're targeting the really big ones that go around to everybody. But if there's a big circular of a newspaper that gets around and we can put it into that particular community's newspaper, that would be important to know. We have to have the information. Not we have to have the information. If you have that information and just tell and say, this is the money that I need to have this ad run for these 2 weeks, then hopefully.
And I'll jump in, Reb Ruvain, and Matt Taif, if you want to find the funding yourself. There isn't unlimited funds. Right now, it's about that it has to get done. The Kesef Minolad, but it has to get done. And Zicher that the Eibusher is going to provide the resources for this. But the bottom line is yes. And by the way, Chevra, Facebook groups, free way to put it up there in front of everybody's eyes. This is the kind of stuff. If you have a sense that you have an achrayus over a region, then you take it and run with it. Put it everywhere you know. Put it everywhere that you know. So we need these regions.
Wait. We're also going to print and have them put into all shuls and have them hung in all cities. We're talking about printing thousands and thousands of flyers.
Right. So that you should ask us. You should write. I need 2,000 flyers to distribute. I need 5,000 flyers to distribute, and we'll get it out to you. Or you can say that we have somebody. I have a place to print it. I just need the file. So we're going to create a Dropbox with all the files, kind of like the JLI PR. You're going to have all the files and all the various sizes and whatever it is. You can print it. You can send it out. You can have the social media square. You can have it as a flyer to be printed in 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, all that, all the good devices.
Sandy,
yes.
Mendy Kesselman says he'll help with Texas.
Beautiful. Very good. Okay. I'll help. Right now, Chevra, right now, if nobody else has said it, you're not helping. You're the guy. And step up to the moment. Mendy Kesselman, you're Texas for the time being. And Adrabah, if there's somebody else that you know or could be reached out to help you, but don't help with. Be the guy. B'makim she'enish. This is it. This is the moment.
But that really means that we need to reach to every single shul, community, and school in Texas. That's what it basically means. That has a Jewish affiliation, that we can speak about this amazing prayer for unity, for whether even if they're super modern, and even if they're not, if it's a Hillel and less than, meaning even more, it's a day for prayer for the redemption of the world. Why wouldn't anybody want to be part of that? Everybody's suffering these days. It's so clear.
Yes. So and Chevra, on the WhatsApp is going to be shared this document that I'm showing you over here, the pre-event timeline. There's going to be it's all going to be in a big folder that's going to have all of this, and also the names of the places. I think we are going to create an Excel file with the regions, and if somebody could, then you can start putting your names next to it. So all this is going to be in Mirz Hashem. So Rabbi Estrin over here said he's got Pittsburgh. He's got Pittsburgh. That's
also Nassim.
Nassim also Pittsburgh. So Fakat, there we go. 2 people on Pittsburgh, and all the shows and whatever it is that are over there. And if you can do Pittsburgh and perhaps do take Cleveland off the Midwest Chevra, because Cleveland's closer to Pittsburgh than it is to other parts, maybe whatever. You'll coordinate.
I'll be in touch with Cleveland.
Yes. Okay. So let's. So there's that. We need, if anybody has more names, Eretz Yisrael right now we have Rabbi Garlitsky from Tel Aviv. He's been unbelievable. He's been getting Chaim Kanievsky. He's got Rabbi Lau, et cetera, et cetera. But if there's anybody, if
Eretz Yisrael needs at least 5 people. At
least, because it's not only about getting into the Meistis, it's about getting into the printing. The various the Zeitungen that of Eretz Yisrael. That's major. That's right. Half of the Yiddish Welt in one country.
What about online presence for a PR?
So that's also going to be part of the package that we've arranged. There's going to be on Yeshiva World News. It's going to be on Vasas Nayes. It's going to be obviously on COL and Anash. If anybody knows, in terms of the not from world, realistically, there's the not from shuls. Yeah, sure. Are they able to join their Yidden? Yidden are across the board. Every Yid should be on board if you feel comfortable. And that's why I say this is where shluchim are better than any other group in the world. In bringing that, you want to reach out to your local Reform Conservative Temple and have them come together.
If anybody has any connections with people that are high up in the OU, in the different groups that there are, if you have a contact in Aish, if you have a contact if people can get involved and start promoting it amongst their community. The good part is that it's, even though we're the organizers, like the Rebbe always wanted it, but it's not our face. The face is not Lubavitch.
On that point, on that note, when you are contacting Mazdis, and they don't know who you are, don't volunteer that you're Lubavitch. This is not Lubavitch. This is Yiddish. This is the Yiddish Welt. You're Rabbi so-and-so, and you're calling them to be part of. You're not saying, I'm Rabbi so-and-so from Chabad of blank. I am Rabbi so-and-so. That's it. There's a global effort with the whole world, that's the Sprach. The whole world is uniting for this global tefillah in the largest event of its kind in history. And so is Rabbi Aryeh, in terms of the not from the speaker.
Well, I think Rabbi Lau.
Not only Rabbi, right. Rabbi Lau,
Rabbi
when you say
Lau,
chief rabbi of Israel, I will tell you, between Rabbi Lau and Rabbi Warren Goldstein, with of the Shabbos Project fame, knowing from the conservative
And Lipsker
in our area, and Rabbi Lipsker from Surfside, there's enough of an appeal there that if a Freie person still says this is not for me, at that point, you know what? That's then only a shliach can help them. That should be enough. If they enough Jewish juices going in their system, that should, and the fact that it's global, that should be enough. If it's not, then darf es kind of sein, was kann man sagen? But to put, if we would put somebody who's not from on the speaker circuit, that on the speaker roster, then you're
it's automatically it's an automatic turnoff for all of Williamsburg and yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we're doing. Obviously, the point is to broaden the tent as wide as possible. Now, the next thing is, so Chevra, this is beautiful. This is beautiful that Chevra are stepping up. This is what's needed. Right now, it's beyond theoretical.
I might have someone in Ukraine. Just put it out there to confirm. Right. Okay.
So we need, so that's the thing. Ukraine, Russia, Rabbi Lazar is very involved. He's also reached out to a few of the other Chevra. He's not only volunteering to share something, he is actively, I want to give you that sense, Chevra, this is as big as this, where chief rabbis are actively involved in promoting this, not just being menadiv, right? So, like, very good. Chaim Danziger in Rostov is a very good point.
We had a list of all the cities we need to hit. Maybe even if you have a contact person that you can reach out, a cousin of yours, a friend of yours, in any of these places, let's put that list out.
Very good. Levi Patash just committed to Northern California.
Baruch Hashem, shkoyach.
Yes. Now so right now, this is big. This is what's happening. So what's left is we still Germany. Does anybody know Germany, Austria, and we have South America in Buenos Aires, but we do need the Yad L'Achim Cheverman. But here's the point, and I hope he hears this. You are an incredible, and I hope he watches the recording. I don't think he's on. You're an incredible resource. You're a Lubavitcher. You are put in this im hacharesh tachadishi kais azois. You're a Lubavitcher in a position to really be a massive. Every single one of us has to feel this incredible achrayus. This is a duch going to the Rebbe of about an event that, I mean, the amount of nachas ruach that this is going to bring to the Rebbe, besides for everything, besides for bringing the Gula. You're going to want your name on this duch as somebody who helped make this happen. I have to tell you something. My brother's getting married in a week. We are starting our camp. We're starting our school, our preschool. We're doubling the size of our. We're incredibly busy here in Bethesda, Maryland. I have no time for this. But how could we say no? What are we doing? We're spinning
Sandy,
our
I
wheels.
just have one harder, Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy, one harder. Is there any way to get the speakers to talk about Pel Mamish? And besides asking for Mashiach, we want to Pel Mamish learn about Mashiach. Can we push that?
Yeah, it's pushed. Who is this?
Can we push that they should say on the video, the Pel Mamish, what we should do?
Yeah,
for their crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one of the requests we're asking of them.
We're giving them a framework. We're giving them a framework. The framework includes three things. We're asking each of the speakers to understand that this is the to speak about the fact that this is the hechstet site, not just because of all the tragedies, but also from the positive thing for Mashiach. Number two, the power of tefillah for Mashiach, which is going to do. And number three, about in Mashiach, which is
beautiful.
Iker learning about Mashiach. So yes, it's going. This is being presented to each of the speakers that this is what they should be speaking on. So
Very
yes,
good.
this is stell sich vor. Don't stell sich vor. It's happening. This is going to the Rebbe. Okay, Chevra, you want to be part of this. Jay Vinitsky, I'm sorry, I don't. But Vinitsky just committed to upstate New York.
Upstate New York, right? Albany and surroundings.
Someone said they'll ask too, Rebecca. Someone said they'll ask Techtel in Germany.
Beautiful. So let's get that. But here's the point, Chevra. We cannot be in the phase of ask. I will get around to asking. If it doesn't start getting this person this week, we are severely behind the 8 ball. It's this week we're on time. Next week we're late and very late. Not everybody operates like shluchim, where we could.
This is why we're giving everybody so much pre time.
Yes, right.
England. How about England? Does anybody have contact people in England?
We have to. Reb Nissen David Dubov was very active here. I think if somebody knows, can reach out and ask him to do that, or somebody else in England, or Kert Matov, not somebody else, both of them, or 3, 10, 5, whatever the number is. We need England. So England, France, Germany,
Belgium,
Austria, Belgium. Contacts in Belgium. Anybody as close to Slavatitsky or whoever else might otherwise be in Belgium that they think could take their sachrayas and get all the shows.
And then of course,
then there's Australia.
We have Beryl Lazar, but we might, we can.
Well, we have Chaim Danziger. Somebody says they're going to reach out. Reach out to Chaim Danziger today if possible. That's a very big. If he's willing to jump on board, he's a macher. He can get a lot. He can get a lot done.
What happens with these things is once we start moving the ball and the help is going to come so big, it's going to become a tsunami. Because what happens is once more push and today's the world is so networked that as soon as you start creating a momentum with something, it'll go completely out of our control. That's what I believe. It'll go wild. It's just we have to bring it to that boiling point. That's all we need.
The terminology in Heintige Zeiten is viral.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
we need this to go more viral than Corona, than even the Delta variant.
Yeah,
we need the Mashiach variant. But the bottom line is that
is there someone bringing this to? Is there someone bringing this to like Borough Park, Monroe, Pomona?
We need strong people in New York. And
so I've been speaking with Aaron Ginsberg, but that is the second half of the Yiddish Welt is that, and we really need that. We need more than one. Yehuda Levin is going to help out. Yehuda Levin, who is one of the founders of Minatzchim. The only reason he can't, why we haven't seen him lately, is because he's not on WhatsApp, and he does a share every day between 2 and 3 p.m. But I've already spoken to him. He's going to be he's in central Brooklyn. He has a lot of ksharim there, and him and Aaron Ginsberg. But no, but that doesn't, for example, include Muncie and Monroe, and we need a chever that are there. There are a lot of Lubavitchers
and Lakewood.
And Lakewood is
Sandy, quick interruption. I'm going to stop the recording
Sandy,
because I want it to be something people can listen to. It's also very critical. The guys who couldn't get on today. Do you want to just wrap it up with one last vart before I stop the recording? We can continue the meeting afterwards.
Okay. So really, the bottom line is that this is what needs to happen, Chevra, and most importantly, it needs to happen today. Not today, tomorrow. But this image, this graphic that you see already, start blitzing with this graphic.
And feel free to write to the WhatsApp group your updates and if you have questions.
So you were saying something?
I may have a connection to Chabad.org, Sandy. I may have a connection to Chabad.org.
Anybody? Well, Chabad.org, yes. Well, so here's the thing. Chabad.org is the Merkez is not going to officially back
Yeah,
this.
not officially, unofficially, no.
Yeah, so we're going to.
Everything's unofficial. Everything's
Yeah.
unofficial. You just have to make people do it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
word.
So I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking to Shlomo Parstek about and Mendel Chaitin, who are both Americas, and find out how do we maneuver this where it gets in without becoming mitam 302.